Hello. Awesome. Okay, that happened fast again. You never know with StreamYard. All right. Welcome, everyone. Happy 2025. I can't believe it's 2025. We're 8 days in? So just as starting to abandon some resolutions, maybe. I don't. I actually told Bolt. I asked Bolt to make a resolution, picker, like a wheel, and it did a resolution like image resolution. so, so maybe next week. Maybe next week I can showcase my resolution picker. Awesome. Well. We're a little lean today. We got some folks kind of getting back in the swing of things with the new year, but we have some updates for you, and really just want to answer your questions, check back in, get stoked for 2025. I think we want to start with some Supabase updates. Is that?
Yeah, maybe. I thought you're. I mean, I sadly will. I don't think we're going to change the system prompt to accommodate New Year's resolution blockers. Better accommodate them. Pretty funny. Yeah. I'm stoked to see everyone here. Hope everyone had a great holiday break. My voice probably sounds weird, and I'm going to mute myself to cough because I caught the flu. But I grew up in Chicago, so I grew up watching Michael Jordan play the NBA Finals with the flu. So that's I'd like to think that me coming on the live stream working today is at that level. It's not, but nonetheless inspired by the GOAT. Anyway, so we just want to kick off the year here. I think like anything in life, when you're stopping and starting up again, it's always good to start slowly and just gain momentum. And so that's what we've been doing with the team this week so far. Most of us are back in office here, and a couple of folks were flip-flop the holidays. We're shipping some stuff over the break. We'll kind of show and talk about some of the stuff that's been landing. But I think for us, like we're orienting to what we want to ship over the next couple of months in this first quarter here. And we've been having a lot of fun talking with you all and hearing your feedback on the product and what you want to see us ship next. And so we've been cooking on our product roadmap, and we've already gotten to work on a handful of things. It'll be landing. Some of the stuff's already landed, but stuff will be landing over the coming weeks, and months here, et cetera. But anyways, yeah. So let's go ahead and kick things off. Todd, maybe you can take over so I can preserve a little bit of my voice throughout this thing. What have you been working on, Tomek? What's the latest?
Right. So first of all, last year we shipped Supabase port. So we started with the solid initial implementation that focuses on the database itself, and after the initial testing, we went to the next thing, plus solidifying the current thing. Specifically, some users were experiencing issues with the migration files. So we've shipped, I think, 2 or 3 several fixes on this, and we get some first results that it does improve things. But let us know if you have further notes on that. In the meantime, we're working on the next big thing in Supabase, which is edge functions. This is something that is huge. It enables a lot of behind the scenes or kind of backend functionality. Specifically, one biggest use case that it enables is really nice Stripe payment support. Stripe, other payment providers usually rely on something called webhooks, and this is something that is implemented in Supabase using edge functions. So this is something that we're working on. Already have some first prototype that we're testing internally at this point, but we want to figure out the best UX for you guys, and should be shipping real soon.
That's going to be sick. I mean, I think that just in
Yeah.
general, I mean, I think having a seamless way to deploy backend, functions is, is pretty key, right? So I'm personally very stoked to see that one ship, and I've been eagerly checking out the latest builds of it as it's been getting built.
Yeah, looking at the difference of the experience before we had the initial the current Supabase integration, where you had to like copy paste different stuff into Supabase or Firebase, whatever. This is even bigger because there is no way actually to put what Bolt generates as an edge function into that into Supabase. So it will be as useful or as easy to use as the current Supabase as that tables management is, but yeah, it's even more critical to have.
Totally. And one thing I wanted to point out. So Diego actually got Stripe into his Bolt app already. I wanted to mention that this is totally possible today. I can go and try and find the video actually, but one of the people in the community actually made a video about how to I think Paul Gosnell, who had made Chilled CRM, for those who've been tuning in for these, we brought Paul and talk about how he built this an entire CRM with payments and a whole bunch of stuff built into it. But he was the original one that kind of pioneered using Stripe links to do billing in Bolt. And one of the other community members, I think over the holidays, I was chatting with Paul online and then turned it into a video. So I've been sharing that around and people have found that pretty helpful. So I'll actually put that. I'll go find the link to that. We should probably put that in our help center actually, just to make it easier for people to find. So actually, for those watching this, not right now, but in the future. By the way, hello from the past to everyone watching this in the future. You can go ahead over to support.bolt.new. I think it's support. Is it support.bolt.new? Pretty sure it is. Yeah, support.bolt.new. I remember there's should we call it help? That's .bolt.new or support? We want support. But go to support.bolt.new. We'll put the link to the video there, also in the description of this video. But anyway, so totally possible to do Stripe stuff with Bolt today using Stripe links. But good stuff. Sorry, Tomek, I can't remember if I cut you off, but if I did, feel free to resume.
No, that was it. That's the most immediate part of the roadmap. After that, we are going to the next integrations. And if I'm not mistaken, the direct Stripe integrations might be next. So it's even less. You don't have to say, this is how I want to implement it. It's just like ask Bolt to implement it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the Supabase integration in general, by the way, I think I just want to flag too, it's like beta, right? So like for folks that are using this, just be aware, like it's like a beta integration. Like you don't have to use the integration to do Supabase stuff. We're trying to make a smoother experience here. I think we're getting to the point. I think within 1 month from now, we're going to be at a point where we're going to pull the beta label, and it's going to be. There's a lot of cool stuff coming to it. It's also gonna be just really, really, really smooth end to end. So just want to flag, if you're working on something where you don't feel like you can be experimental with it, I wouldn't recommend using the integration unless you're down to give feedback if you run into stuff, etc. But call it 2, 3, 4 weeks from now, when we're pulling the label off, it's going to be fully baked, etc. So just wanted to flag that because I think some folks have been just clicking the button and not kind of seeing the beta disclaimer or whatever, and they're like, oh, it can't do blah 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 or whatever. It's that's coming. So I just wanted to flag that. Okay, the Stack Blitz people on the call, brace yourselves. I think it's important to share this because I don't know if Alternative Ministries here, if Alternative Ministries is using the Supabase integration or not. But so I think I spoke to the Supabase integration, it's in beta, and it's going to be, I'll eat my shoe, I guess, a month from now if it's not the best thing that you've ever used. But in general, here's something that's just kind of interesting. I just want to speak to live. We get this sort of question a lot about Bolt, and there's this like phenomena where basically, these AI tools, when you kind of try them, the first time you try one of these new tools, you're like, wow, this is incredible. And the more you use it, the more you kind of find the limitations of it, and you almost kind of become accustomed to it. I think there's like kind of this psychological phenomena around this, and we're starting to see some of this in Bolt in the user feedback. So people will ask us like, hey, did you do something to like the agent or something because it was working great yesterday, now it's not? And like, yeah, generally the answer is like no. Like really nothing has changed. And I want to like flag this because it's, I think that a lot of the limitations, whether you're using Bolt or like anything else out in the market, everyone is using the same underlying LLMs. How you integrate with those in the core technology, that is where the experience can be very different, as you'll see when you use Bolt versus other things. But when the AI is having trouble understanding something, more often than not, that's it's a limitation of the state of the art of what LLMs can do. The good news is this stuff is improving pretty quick. Every 3 to 6 months, I think this year, even this month, maybe there will be new models that come out that are better and better and better at doing code generation. And I think throughout this year, we're going to see a lot more happening. I think we'll see some stuff this month actually. But anyways, I just want to flag this because this is just like a common thing that we hear. And I think it's a common thing that like every AI tool hears. And that's not to say that like if the agent is doing something dumb, doesn't mean that it's not a fixable problem. That there's something we could help fix. But what's really helpful is if you file issues and you kind of describe what happened or what it's having trouble with. That helps us out because we can go through and try and figure out, okay, how can we provide more context to the agent so it doesn't, the underlying LLM can reason about this thing, right? So anyways, just wanted to throw that out there. Like, generally speaking, if anything, there's just things got more capable, not less. But a lot of it is, I think, perceived just because you kind of expect it to become, smarter like a human does, I guess, over time. but it's very lumpy, when these LLM upgrades happen. So anyways, I'll collapse that. I don't know if there's any other ones we had flagged yet. Oh, here's a good question. Love the Supabase integration, but it always creates a new project. Can I just like use an existing one? Yeah, great question. The answer right now is no, but not for any good reason. And we're fixing this. The ability to just kind of point at a existing Supabase project is in the works, and I think we should have something landed in short order. But yeah, it's definitely one of the common things, more common, I guess, than we had expected, although it makes sense because you have to like pay per database, but yeah. Okay. Do we want to go through more Q&A right now, or we can kind of hit some of the others? I mean, heck, while we're doing it, I say let's do more Q&A. Juan, we got one for you. Go ahead and hit it.
Yeah, I can answer that one. So we're kind of almost ready. I would say we have landed changes that were required on the web container side. And so the work necessary on the Bolt side should land soon, I think. So expect to see that landing in the next days, week. Probably not week, but yeah, next couple of days.
Let's go. Oh, yeah. Sorry, for those that are just tuning in now, I start off by saying I have the flu right now. So if you see me mute myself and look like I'm coughing, it's because I'm muting myself and I'm coughing. Okay, so another question: how's hiring / onboarding more folks help development? Good. This is a primary focal point for us. So I'll give the spiel. If you want to grow, if you want to join one of the fastest growing startups, right now / just in history, come join us. Stackbus.com/careers. We are, if you use Bolt, you'll you get what we're up to, building some pretty cool stuff, transforming how the web is made. And yeah, so we've been ramping up our hiring, and we're going to be doing a lot more of that over the coming weeks and months. I suspect that we are probably at least a fourth of the size of headcount wise, that we will be at the end of the year, at least, probably a little bit more, I would imagine. And so, we want, we love to chat with as many folks as we can that love what we're up to, and et cetera. So on the sports side, we're hiring pretty aggressively. We're ramping up a lot there. We are still inundated with demand. So if you are having trouble getting a hold of us on our support lines, we've got a crew of people that are going through those 24 hours a day at this point. This month we expect to be instead of behind on those, ahead of them. But we spend a good amount of time going through our email inboxes at this point and that sort of thing. Yeah, excited. We're going to be announcing the hires over the coming weeks here. We've added to the team, and stoked to share that with you all. Let's see. I think a big help is the ability to push to GitHub. That would be a big help. The good news on this front, this actually kind of comes in. We were going to talk about the product roadmap here today, and I think that's actually the next start thing. So yeah, I like this idea of having like a way for folks to upvote stuff. I think we'll probably implement something here. I know it's on the document. Folks on the Stackbot side here, after this, we should let's put an action item to actually spin up a feature roadmap upvoting service or something, But I wanted to talk today about the product roadmap. Like, what are we working on this quarter? And because we've over the past I think it's been maybe 3 months, I think, since we launched Bolt at this point. We've gotten a ton of feedback from you all, and so we spent some time over the break kind of consolidating all of that, and we're spending this week kind of putting the final touches on it of what we're going to be working on here. But to kind of split it out, there's really two main things at a high level that we're going to be working on this quarter. One is integrations, and so that's where the GitHub comment here kicks in. That's absolutely one of the things that we're going to be shipping. Obviously, be able to like push and pull from Git repos is really key. And by the way, like Stackbits as a company, our previous product. Hang on, I have to cough. Oh, all right, there we go. Our previous product, that's still online, you can integrates with Bolt, was Web IDE that pushes and pulls from GitHub. So we know how to do this. we have the technology and the know-how. But yeah, bringing that natively into Bolt, is a very obvious move. I mean, it's something that we've talked about, since before Bolt launched. So that's absolutely coming. But integrations in general, I think, is something we view as very important to making that the end experience of this very magical. And that's like integrating with GitHub to commit. That's also integrating with like Supabase for your database and your auth or Stripe. Right. Or for sending emails or for accessing AI APIs and that sort of thing. And really the experience that we want folks to have when they come to Bolt is it just like works. You can just, add the things you want as integrations. And it, Bolt just knows how to work with those things really well. And that kind of leads to the second part, because like you can make the integrations, but you also have to improve the agent, the actual, like, the thing that you are talking to, the AI you're talking to. And so a huge amount of our focus is just on making the agent better. And tangibly, what that means is when you tell it to do something, it does it more accurately. You don't get as many errors that occur, right? When you do get errors, it is better at solving them, and this is like, every company doing AI code gen is working on these problems, right? But a cool thing about Bolt is because of the way that our technology stack works, we can actually do this in a very integrated way where we can really fine tune, the exact models that we're using to better serve the results that'll provide error-free sort of experiences. So anyways, that's I think holistically, those are really the two main areas that we're going to be focusing on going into the quarter here. And so I've kind of shared some of the things that we'll be dropping here. But yeah, I just want to give a high level update on general product roadmap, etc. But okay, with that, I'm gonna hand it over to someone else on the team to kind of walk through some of these other ones, because I'm gonna lose my voice if I keep talking here. So I don't know, Sam V, Sean, Tomek, save me, save my voice. I need this.
Okay, I can talk about one specific feature that is now in the discussions, but we're working on a way of opening the preview in a separate tab on a separate window. There are multiple ways of doing it. The immediate benefit is, of course, you can manage your space between different screens. More efficiently, you can have your own app, the whole app on a separate screen. It's also easier for debugging. So there is a relatively simple way of doing it. Oh, not simple. A way of doing it that we already solved in our previous product is Taglit's editor, but we're also looking at a more powerful way of solving it, where you could open it on possibly different devices at the same time. So imagine, working on Bolt on your laptop and then opening the preview, for example, on your mobile phone or even by someone else. So that's kind of like this additional benefit that we consider. Plus, that could also enable connecting possibly to the app from the outside world, which is the maybe thing that we're still figuring out.
It's actually, the question, I didn't clarify that, but the question I was answering from Tyler regarding OAuth, so being able to sign in via GitHub, Google, all of those things, the primary requirement for those things to work is to be able to have the preview in a separate tab. Because when you have an iframe, so something embedded inside a page, typically you're not allowed to do this because the iframe doesn't have access to an external context. But let's not dive into the technical detail. It's just I wanted to clarify that. Yeah, sorry for...
Yes.
Yeah.
That will solve the issue. Yeah, exactly that, Tyler. That's a fair point. So one thing, but it's it handles or it solves really so many cool scenarios. So that's exciting and in progress. Let me see what else. Joan, before that, we've talked about one thing that we've already solved / fixed that I asked you to explain. I don't remember what that is now.
It's okay. So it's the labeling regarding the messages. So one thing we recently landed is basically more structured information to the LLM, which helps it understand better the context of the conversation. Because sometimes you probably run into a situation where you're prompting the LLM, it's actually doing something you didn't really ask, or maybe you asked before, and you're like, I'm not really sure to understand why it's doing this. And so to hopefully improve on that front, we made a change that should help the LLM have a better understanding of the conversation. And on that note, if you still run into issues regarding this, where you tell the LLM to do something and then it go wrong and do something unrelated or related to previous messages you sent, just let us know, because we're really looking to see how better we can become at this and making sure the LLM does what you want it to do.
And then, specific example of that was I think you mentioned deployment, right?
Yeah.
Ask it for it to deploy.
Yeah, an example is if there's a lot of deploy action, then the LLM will start deploying randomly. Oh, make this button blue. Sure, I'll make the button blue and deploy this application. Wait, what?
So, yeah.
Okay, so this one's I by the way, well, I'll say this. we dug into this one. So the issue is if the env file, people are reporting the env file in their projects were just disappearing when they would like refresh the page or something. What we ended up finding was that this is actually intended. So when you share your Bolt projects, if you like make them public or something, only when you see your project, you can see your env file because that has like your secrets in it. But others cannot. There will be no env file. And if you, by the way, if you see otherwise, please let us know, because that is not how you should, your env file should never get deleted when you're using the same account. But this is, we've used this as a way of determining who we should send from the FBI to people's accounts who are using multiple free accounts to get out of buying a subscription. I'm kidding. We're not doing that, but it has been kind of funny because this is it's been we haven't really we haven't tried to crack down on that or anything. But it's been funny seeing a healthy small number of people raising their hands, going, wait a second, what? And it was funny because one of the people I chatted with, they were like, oh yeah, well I use multiple free accounts, smiley face. But anyway, so I just wanted to flag that one. Let's see. I want to pull up what are some of the other questions we got here? Oh, here's a good one. I think one of the people that's on this call actually shipped this live on a previous stream. Maybe Jean, maybe you can answer this.
Yeah, so I think now it's probably under the export button. If you click there, there's a download, and you can do whatever you want with it.
Heck yeah! All right. This is a little out of order, but any other positions at Bolt / StackBlitz for other than developers? Yes, we are hiring. We have. I need to check our jobs page, but I think keep an eye on our jobs page because it's about to like explode. But we're going to be hiring across everything: customer success and marketing and sales, and there's a whole bunch of things that if they're not there, they're going to be there, over the coming weeks. Do we need any top tier PMs? Yes. Martin, I imagine maybe you're asking for a friend, or maybe you're asking for you, but would love to hear from you or whoever you think is top tier. This is definitely a role we are hiring for. So feel we don't have a listing, but feel free to email me, eric@stackblitz.com, if you think you fit the bill there. Let's see. How about this one? Will we be able to use Bolt for mobile apps too sooner or later? Yes. Right now you can actually build native script apps, albeit it's a little limited in what it can do. But we do have an integration with the Expo folks for React Native coming, and it's going to be sweet. I think that's little TBD. I mean, I think it's coming soon though, soon-ish. We got stuff in flight with those folks, but it's going to be pretty good. And on the next one, I'll hand it off to the other folks here. I thought this is like sounds like cool. Stephanie's working on cool stuff, but curious what the recommendation is from our side.
It's a good question. I'm not actually sure. I would say, you create an S3 bucket and then you have them.
I might. No. I might recommend just putting it in like the public folder, right?
Yeah. Because I think.
Yeah, if you just have the assets, you can drag and drop them in file tree, and then you can just ask the LLM to use that specific picture from the public folder.
Yep.
Or music, or whatever you actually want.
Totally.
Which is what I did with my turkey cooking game. I used that feature. So
yeah, I think that would be the way. I think honestly, I think what would be interesting. I think for us, I think a take home here is folks should be able to drop that stuff into the chat box and say, hey, like use this MP3 file or whatever, and we just route it into the correct folder. You know what I mean?
Yep, that makes sense. Or even better, like, or not better, but alternatively, further down the line, we might have actually a S3 integration.
Yeah. There you go.
Because like, yeah, even for business purpose, like if you don't want this to be like public, but go to some like subscribers of your app or something like this, that's probably would be useful. So I think once we get
Supabase,
like this,
yeah, Supabase, I think support has like an S3, has like blob storage built in, if I'm not mistaken.
that's a great point. And if you go to Tyler from Supabase, or any of like, I'm pretty sure I've seen Supabase actually demoing this. I'll drop a link in the chat in a second.
Cool. Sounds good. Hell yeah. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. So from Mauricio, please give us an update on Firebase plus Stripe integration. Yes. Admittedly, this is going to come after Supabase, but having support for Firebase is going to be a key one, I think. So after we land Supabase fully, I think Firebase is going to be up on the docket right after that. So let's see. What are the questions we got? Thanks for all the great questions, by the way, folks. Like these are very, very thoughtful, good questions. Let's see.
I just posted the link. It's a super cool video where it's like an hour-long live coding of actually like Instagram clone, including photo uploads and accounts and everything. So yeah.
Nice. Hell yeah. Cool. Are we open to case studies? Yes, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Diego, shoot me an email. Eric@stackbus.com. Anyone else, is interested in case studies? Yes.
Especially the case studies that include Stripe integration, Diego.
Yeah, let's go. Absolutely. Cool. Let's see. What other question? Feel free to pull up, pick some questions here, y'all, on Stackbus side from the comments. Okay. Very good question. Short answer. Go ahead, Johan.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is basically more or less. Wait, actually, am I understanding this question correctly? When an error occurs, bolt attempt to perform the same action 3, 4. Okay, so I think this could be several issues. One scenario is probably where there's an error that it caused, and you ask it to fix that error, and then maybe there's another that's unrelated, and then there's an error loop that starts. I think a lot of people have reported error loop, and it's hard to solve in the general case, but we have lots of tiny fixes that are coming in the pipeline that should help with this. I know one of the things I'm actually looking at is the famous laziness issue, where the models start to be like, oh, and keep the existing code the same, and just miss part of the code that are actually important. And that can cause error loops, because sometimes it's like, oh, he fixed the issue, but he added this comment. And then you're like, oh, now there's a bug because you remove code. And then you're back to the previous state where there was the bug. And then you go back to that state, etc.
Yeah, and I think there's just like a lot. I mean, this kind of like the two high level things, right? Integrations and improving the agent, and like this just like is a symptom of the second one, where it's like, how do you like provide a better experience when the AI, when the underlying LLM is not cutting it to solve a certain type of issue, right? And there's not like a single like silver bullet to that problem. And like Joanne's described, like one of the things that can cause this. Joanne's kind of describing one of the things we're shipping like this week that'll help. But there's basically like right now there's like 100 things that we've identified. We're like, okay, these can fix a lot of these different types of things. And I think in general, like the if Bolt can't fix something within 3 or 4 attempts out of the box, that's a good indication that there's some level of debugging that you need to get involved with the project. And we're going to be shipping some stuff that'll help you do that. We're like chatting with the project, and also just like going and retrieving information from the internet to like help the AI understand what's going on there. But in general, I think the entire debugging experience in Bolt is going to become like the best in class in the world, right? In pretty short order to the degree that you can resolve things with an AI purely, right? And there's a lot of cool stuff, and it's stuff that we're building. It's also stuff that we're getting to work with some of the AI labs on. To actually make it better. But this is a very complicated, kind of multifaceted problem, because every one of these cases, can be unique, and there is a good amount of uniqueness that we see just from the level of data that we're looking at, right? But anyway, so that's kind of holistically, that's kind of how we're looking at the problem set and kind of how we're planning to go and approach this stuff,
One practical thing that I can recommend, I hope it's practical, but it's sometimes like with LLMs, it's almost like they can behave like a frustrated human. I was like, I don't like, this is the only thing that comes to my mind, and it's like, and it gives you the same answer. But like if you phrase the question differently, it might help. So sometimes what helps in my case, which I would just actually clear, like if the 2-3 attempts to fix wouldn't make it, I would try to understand, like from just reading the information or experiencing that in the app, what's wrong, clearing that error, and just saying that's it to Bolt, and like and asking it what could be the several ways of approaching the solution for it, or what could have caused it. And even just asking it this, like kind of like around the simple fix button, it can get it out of this mental, or whatever we call it, a loop.
Yeah, totally. And it's a question from Mauricio, like, have we given thought to Bolt not consuming tokens when Bolt fixes errors? And the 100% we have. And so it's kind of a challenging thing, right? Because like when an error occurs and we go and like hit, send that to the LLM to go and fix it, like that is like, we have to pay like tangible money to go in. And as I've mentioned on like previous streams, like the margin on when you pay for a Bolt subscription, you're getting a better deal than if you actually went and signed up for like Anthropic or whatever yourself, right? Because we can do volume discounting. And so setting this up to these providers costs money, right? But what's kind of like, what kind of sucks though about the experience is like if it makes a mistake, it kind of feels like you shouldn't have to pay for it, right? And which is like a real psychological thing. And I think for us, it's like our goal is certainly not for this thing to be writing code that is causing errors. Like that's a key KPI for us is like, okay, what errors get thrown? How do we just continually reduce that number to 0? You'll never get there, right? But not until AGI hits. I think that's kind of, it's an interesting set of challenges. And we are going to do this. We are, just to be like, I guess maybe to give the short answer, we are going to do this. The longer answer is the way in which we do this is going to be pretty interesting, because like if there are other services that do this, and the way that they do it is they're just kind of moving the cheese from one place to the next, because it's like you hit the fix error button, and then if it solves it, like great. If it doesn't, you can hit it one more time, and then if it doesn't fix it, they say, okay, well now you have to spend tokens or spend money to actually solve it, right? But the cost of that is actually just getting baked into the per message price is being increased accordingly, right? So it's like it feels better, but actually you're probably paying more for it. We want to incentivize not just like, hey, we want to make the you know, have the errors get fixed without, you know, without cost, but also like, how do you have it be extremely good at solving, you know, very generalized types of errors. And there's some interesting stuff, like both, not just from like like a cloud-based LLM perspective, but also doing stuff like locally using the you know, your device's own compute to do that, which allows you then to really have a great experience where, you know, a lot of the errors that you may be running into today can just be like automatically solved, right? You know, for free. And hey, so we are going to be implementing this, and I think the experience is going to be pretty great around it. And like, because we've been thinking a lot about it, and we were, you know, this is part of that second category of improving the agent more generally, you know. So anyways, long story long. Yes. Here's a question. Are there times when the network is congested and error handling isn't as smart during those times? And folks on our side, I mean, I think this can be a thing when our upstream LLM providers, you know, are underneath heavy load. Typically, you know, it's not. I don't think it's often that they're like nerfing the intelligence, but you may notice it being a lot slower. I think that's the main thing. But Sam, Jawan, feel free to correct me there.
I think that's correct. I doubt the model actually changed. At least we don't change it on our side.
Yeah, I'm not aware of. I mean, yeah, I'm not aware of. You know, it being changed, because like we have a specialized contract with our upstream providers, and so I don't think this typically. I don't think this typically or should occur with us, but you know, I think that under times of heavy load, though, it's just when it's kind of coming through slower, it can, you know, I think because I've used the product when it's been underneath this sort of load, and it just feels slower, which makes it, you know, I think it just makes the experience feel different. So that might be it. But that said, I mean, it's if this happens, let us know, because we can go dig in and kind of align the timestamps of what was happening and see if there was you know, anything that changed. But I like this question. I'd like to think so. Well, this you can tell Bolt to have a personality. This is actually one of the funny things. In the you know, for those who aren't aware of this feature, in the .bolt/prompt file. Okay, yeah, okay. Tomek just pulled up his screen, I think. You can tell in your prompt file, you can say, hey, like, you know, act like a dog, you know, and it'll respond like a dog. And so as you can see, it wagged its tail.
That actually wasn't prompted. I like not with the it's just like I was just prompting with my sons, and we just got more and more, you know, silly with Bolt, and it started go silly with us. So when we asked like, who's the good boy, I was like, I am.
That's
but
hilarious.
yeah, what Eric says, yeah, you can actually edit the prompt file, and we had a tip once a while ago when we asked it to talk like a pirate. And
I'm gonna open one right now, actually, and just yeah, because I think it'd be kind of fun to show this. I'm going to share my screen. It's been a minute since I did this, so I'm kind of.
I love the pirate one. That's like my favorite.
The pirate one is hilarious. It's so funny. Okay, so always talk to me like a pirate, including all of the code and copy you write. So I'm going to go ahead and save. So this is the prompt file, by the way. So in .bolt/prompt, you can give your project instructions that stick around across load. So this is the Bolt project of this. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh. It's going to pull in that prompt file. And I'll say, hello, how are you? Let's see what it says back. Yar, ahoy there, matey. Yes, eye patch. Make this website pirate themed. It's so funny. It's so funny. Okay, I want to. We'll let it finish. The other one I like is Yoda. I think the Yoda one is also pretty funny. Disney, don't sue me. I'm not. This is a creative derivative art I'm making. This is not for corporate purposes. Okay. The most fearsome React ship. Okay, here we go. All right, let me swap to Yoda. Swap to Yoda. Here we go. Here we go. Talk to me like Yoda. You are Yoda. Actually, talk like Yoda.
Someone asks if we had discussions on allowing to edit this file in Bolt, right? Or
yeah, that should be landing probably this month. There is just because first of all, we could just enable showing this folder and editing that file, but the issue is that it would not be automatically applied. So you'd still have to refresh the Bolt page, which would be confusing. So we don't want to just show it to folks until we have the auto applying functionality ready. But yeah, this is coming.
I love this. Anyway, so yeah, so it's, I get it. Ship it. I don't want to, because then Disney, we're gonna get a C&D from Disney on the production URL, you know. But anyways, so yeah, it's kind of a fun one. But I also, obviously, this is a very useful feature because you can give instructions you want for your project that will stick around across page loads, across every chat message, etc. And yeah, so prompt file, and that's going to be, as Tomek mentioned, going to be landing natively in the Bolt UI pretty shortly here. So good stuff.
Yeah, so if you sometimes think that Bolt forgets stuff you asked in the past, it is because it is forgetting about it. So you can actually put stuff then in the Bolt prompt file, so it does not forget it, and it will always be there.
Yeah, totally. Okay. I think, do we have any other questions we want to get through here? Or should we do some community picks? Or actually, I guess, Tomek, maybe you could share the tips that you had made.
Cool. Yes, I shall. So first of all, let me present my screen. And back last year, a few days ago, I was showing the Grok AI. So you can actually pretty easily integrate Grok API into Bolt. So this is something that I wrote like a lyrics generator that allows you to pick several words, and it will generate your lyrics with that word. So like some kind of AI thing. So that works really great with Bolt, and literally takes 2 prompts. The second one was the Three.js. So I will also have several picks on about not only me, but I've seen Eric also picking 3D stuff. 3D stuff in Bolt is awesome, and one of the most popular and powerful library to use to do the 3D stuff in web is called 3D, and Bolt supports it really well. So if you mention it to Bolt, it will do it. Even if you don't mention it by name, it will usually pick Three.js. but good to know what that is and to ask it if you want to be more intentional about choosing your technologies. There are also like a lot of open sourced models that you can use to demo your 3D app. So like this is a meta tip, but you can download them and upload to Bolt and have like awesome stuff like this. And finally, something that we've I think covered before as a different project, but there is this cool project called Iconify, where if you already have a very good idea about some specific icon that you want to use, instead of relying on Bolt suggesting something, if you maybe don't know yet what to use as a symbol, you can go to Iconify and search. Like there's 200,000 icons here, really well organized. You can make sure it's allowed for commercial use. For example, I use this, not spinners, sorry for this. It's now everything is spinning, but these are really nice. They, whenever they show on the page, they show with like this elegant animation. And there are even like colorful ones. So basically you pick an icon like this one. If you've seen the YouTube videos that we post, we use some of these icons often. And you just copy this thing, the name of the icon, and ask Bolt to use this icon from Iconify, and it will just do it. So, sorry, something like this, right? So that's if you want to be like more specific about the icons. I think these are the tips for today.
Let's go. Thank you for those tips. The tip master over here. Love it. Okay, maybe before community shouts, I saw one comment from Mauricio. Let me go ahead and find this real quick. What do you guys think Bolt will look like at the end of the year? How will it be different from where we are today? Talk to us about the vision. The vision. I love it. Yeah, good question. I think so. I'll say a couple of things. I think AI code gen is going to be. I think it's, you know, I think there's going to be some crazy stuff that happens this year. That's going to, you know, because the Bolt, you know, to give you a sense of like how the product development works on this, or, you know, what we can do with the product, how good the underlying LLM models are has like a 10x swing on the quality of the experience we can build. What we can do on top of that is like, you know, 3-4x out of something like that, right? Which is big, but I mean, having upgrades in the LLMs is the single biggest thing that can completely change the experience, and that is what enabled Bolt to succeed. And like why we launched Bolt when we did. We actually built Bolt earlier in the year before some of the newer models had come out this year, and it didn't work. And we like put it back on the shelf, and then we got a preview of some of the stuff Anthropic was making back in May, and pulled it off the shelf and shipped it because the code gen had really hit a you know, a new point. I think we're going to see more of that this year, and I think it's, you know, depending on kind of how big the swing is. I mean, this could things could accelerate pretty quickly here as far as like what you can use Bolt to do, and how sophisticated the applications that you can make. I think from a product perspective, you know, right now, you know, I think, you know, you all tuning in, I mean, we're loving work with you because like this is the ground floor of like stuff that's going to get written in history books. Like what's happening right now with how the world is building software. Like this is really not priced in to how the majority of the world's software has always been written and is currently being written. What we're going to see happen over the coming year and beyond is more folks that are not developers or quasi-technical or whatever, building real products and real code. Everything from solo entrepreneurs to existing Fortune 500s. And so I think when you kind of think about like coming to Bolt, Bolt's going to be a place where like if you want to build an incredible product from the ground up or an incredible business, you can come here and say, I have an idea for a business, and this is what it would do. It'll say, okay, that's awesome. Do you have a name for it yet? Well, here's maybe some names. Okay. Which ones do you like? Okay. Do you want to buy the .com? Great. We've got that taken care of for you. All right. Let's go and build the site. Awesome. Like we've got the database spun up, Like, I mean, really like imagine just coming to Bolt with the idea of a product or a business and not even having the domain name or anything. And then within, 5 or 10 minutes, it's wired up end to end. That's what we're up to here. And for people that work at, that have existing products and businesses, I mean, it's the same concept, but applied to the existing products and businesses that you have. For those of you that are software developers or PMs or designers, I mean, imagine coming to this and instead of tossing around, Figma documents all day long, commenting on them, et cetera, you can come to this thing and you can just tell it what you want. And it actually builds it out and heck, can even commit it to your company's version control, right? And the devs can pull that down, edit it, push back up, et cetera. So anyways, I think that's kind of that's the vision that we have here. Is this really incredible end-to-end experience that it wasn't possible before, So anyways, that's the answer, my answer to that question. But
I'll add to this, I think what is really exciting, I think this year is basically we have like 3 layers, so to speak. So there's like AI providers, there's folks like us that are building these experiences, and then there are users, our community. And there is like this incredible feedback loop that we've experienced for like since we've launched Bolt. When we launched it, we didn't know like hundreds of what we know right now. So there is an incredible feedback between you, the users, and the communities, and us and the providers. So it's I think like all 3 layers will grow on their own and together during this year. So like best practices and ways of using this kind of software that weren't even like thought of last year, I think will be common practice by the end of the year. Like very generic, but I think it's kind of also what Eric was alluding to.
I agree with what you're saying. I mean, I think in general, and this is not like Bolt is specifically looking at like web software, right? Like that's what we're unabashedly focused on. But like how the entire world builds products and software is the world order is about to get rewritten on how this is done. I mean, you think about how, like, if you look at an average company in like the Fortune 500 that's like building websites and products, I mean, the PMs at these companies, are often just kind of writing Jira tickets. These are the people that have like the best understanding of like how to make the product great. But the most effective way they have to actually enact that is like writing a Jira ticket. Can you imagine just being able to like actually like instead of writing a Jira ticket, just putting that into Bolt and having it do it? Then they can actually iterate. And you have to imagine this is what you all are doing with Bolt right now. Like it's not like we're here. It's not tomorrow. It's like this is for the people on the ground floor. You get it. Like this is the future. Like, this is how the future of the world's software is going to be built. It's not currently evenly distributed with who's adopted. So I think, but you think about how these teams are organized today. You have a PM that's, working with 10 devs or so. I think there's going to be a lot more PMs. There's going to be more PMs PMs are going to be great. PMs are going to be, and designers and people that really understand products and building businesses are going to be far more valuable than ever before. Because you know, that's really what's the only thing that's stopping you from building incredible products and businesses is you know, your own knowledge and skill set, which, you know, is learnable. So anyways, it's cool stuff. So, and it's cool that as us as a company, we're getting to play a part in this. I mean, this is a really wild time in human history. I don't think anyone really saw this coming. It's certainly not as quickly as it has, and as quickly as I think it's going to accelerate, you know? So, okay. Anyways, all right, with that, let's do some community picks. Thanks for the great question, Mauricio.
There was still one question I wanted to quickly bring up, which comes from Kev, and is about the OAuth flow. So his question is more like, how will it work with like the web container URL and whatnot? So I don't know, Joanne, do you want to take this on, or should I just?
You can.
So the way this works is if you already use Stagblitz in the past, and Stagblitz, you can basically pop out the preview into a separate tab of your browser. Currently, that's not possible with Bolt, but that will be in the coming days, so very, very soon. So that means you can actually have your preview separately open and then play around with it, and maybe sometimes easier to debug as well. So then you can basically just use that URL that you have there and then put that into the OAuth callback URL. That's basically it. So by allowing the preview to open in a separate tab, you will be able to do OAuth flows. I hope that answers the question.
Heck yeah. All right. Love it. Okay. Tarek, you share your screen. Get these community picks going.
Yep. All right. So first one is from Kate.
Yeah, this one is helps real estate agents with AI automation. Yeah, chatbot. I mean, it looks really nice, really clean. Yeah, super helpful. I don't know much about being a real estate agent, but this seems like it'd be super helpful.
Nice, and it's already deployed, so that's a plus.
Yeah, already live. The next one. Oh, this one's cool. Check my tickets, New York City. I live in Massachusetts. I checked my license plate. It said I didn't have any tickets. I don't think I have any, but I don't know if this is just for New York City. I think so. Let me know if there's a way. Yeah.
Be careful about being too like I don't know if my license plate matters, but these are I'm collecting them like Pokemon cards. You know, like I'll tell you. The city of Burlingame, those meter maids are serious about their job. I mean, you got to respect just respecting game on this. I mean, I parked for 2 minutes twice. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, well, I didn't even see them. It's like they're like Batman. They like flew in, they had like put a ticket and they were gone. Not a trace. It's unbelievable.
So we need an Eric. We need an Eric check my tickets.
Yeah, I was gonna say I need this for my municipality. Like this is bullcrap. Like, come on. Like, I pay my taxes. You know, like this is I paid for that meter. Like, you know, like what? Anyways, great pick.
Okay. We'll move away from Eric incriminating himself. Okay, and this one was shared on our Discord. So yes, I saw some chats or I saw some messages in our chat. We do have a Discord, very active. You can share your projects here. But there was one that was a recipe saver, and it looks like you can have a picture. Oh, sorry, I meant to actually sign in, but I created an account here, and you can actually put a picture, and you can do like when you made it, and then like there's like a text box for the ingredients, which you can also like include kind of iterations or things that you would do for next time, which I loved. So super cool.
Nice.
Oh, and then I wanted to include this. So I think Eric kind of touched on this, just, like thinking about expectations for, AI. I think Addie did a great job of Addie and Gurgley did a great job here. Kind of, I didn't read the full thing, but there was just some parts that were really nice. It just highlighted it really nice, like just kind of a reminder of like where AI is at in general. And just kind of some tips like, like the 70% problem. I had not heard this term before, but it's kind of coined like, that frustration of like you're 70% like of the way and you can't get to the 30%. Like, I think that's a very like common phenomenon that's happening right now. So it's good to see kind of more kind of conversations like in the ecosystem here, but super helpful read. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So next two tips are, as I said, about the 3D space. So Bruno is building a cat designer, which I'm not a cat designer, but a CAD designer, which I'm super into, like because 3D printing made it, I think, super popular, and it seems like a great starting point. I'm looking forward to this being a full-fledged app. The next one is again a 3D.js project, and it's a pretty solid 3D app prototype. You can already imagine like it already has some a feel to it. It's not like some generic 3D space. So again, 3JS. And one similar to Kate, I have one kind of meta tip, and it's really cool. Sorry, it started playing and I stopped listening to myself. But it's a really cool video. Basically, what it says here, building prototype, and it showcased like two things working together. First is like this Nodus tool that allows you to research like markets and the ideas and flesh out the idea before you go into it. And then they build the actual idea using StackBlitz and end up with a really like solid prototype really quickly. But it's not just like a flashy, landing page with no thought, like no additional like research behind it, but like the whole first step is about getting these ideas. So really recommend it to everyone who wants to actually kick up a startup and look into different markets. This is like a very specific example of, for example, that was a real estate market in Germany. So like it's a very specific idea to implementation in Bolt. Next is Eric's tip number 1.
Yes, this is cool. I believe this guy is a lawyer. I want to say, but I think I might have done him as a pick last year, and so he built this this LLM. I click on the first tweet because I can't remember exactly what the okay. So this is using an LLM to like transcribe the court documents or something. But basically made this tool that like actually is useful in a courtroom. Was using, I think, OpenAI. But when he made this, he said, it would actually be really ideal if you could use a local LLM for this, for the privacy reasons. And so he did that. He did that with Bolt. He actually swap this to use a local LLM, which I just realized he has the Wi-Fi turned off in the screenshot. That's sick. Anyways, I just thought that was the coolest thing. I mean, using his own device to actually do this workload, I just, super cool. Anyways, that was the first one. Second one was Ian. I feel like I'm like an Ian fanboy. But Ian's in SF. I just found out, I'm going to meet up with Ian. I think we're chatting about it sometime later this month. So I'll send a photo from my account when I meet with Ian. Super cool. I mean, this is like, if you're not following Ian, you got to go follow Ian. This guy's nuts. I mean, he is making some crazy 3D tools with Bolt. I mean, this is insanity. It's super cool. Just so impressive. So those are my two picks for this week.
Hey, Joan, talking stick goes to you.
Yeah, I saw this one, and actually the thing that if you go on the link and open it, I don't know if it's gonna work well, but yeah, I was just mind blown by the quality. Like, I guess for me, it's always whenever I see one of those examples, it's like, wait, you can do that just with Bolt, where like, you saw me coding on a few live coding sessions. I don't use as much AI as most people, so I'm always in the mindset like, oh, how could I solve this problem with just a keyboard and my brain? And then I see this, I'm like, what am I doing? So yeah, this just looks incredible. I was really impressed by this.
Wow. Yeah, I'm just still discovering it.
Well,
That's
okay,
awesome.
I gotta play with that. Holy crap.
Yeah, it's insane.
Drink water. All right.
And the UI is so polished and everything,
God, it's beautiful too. I mean, the design is incredible.
Yeah, it's really incredible.
Wow.
Yep. Good one.
It pulls the weather for your location. Holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'll stop.
Yeah, the other one is matrix effects that I thought was also pretty nice. And it's probably a bit too much, but I still am a fan.
Cool. Good one. And I think that's it for the community showcase.
Incredible. I'm still playing with like the homepage one. I've actually tried this yet. This is I'm making this my homepage. This is incredible. This is so good. Let's go. Okay. Well, thank you all for tuning in. I'm excited to kick off the new year with all of you. I think everyone from our team is as well. And I'm excited to get the stuff that we're working on in your hands. We've got a whole bunch of fun stuff that's going to be shipping, over the coming days and weeks and months here. But this is 2025 is going to be wild. I'm really excited. I'm excited to line up here. The last office hours we do this year, we should roll back to this video and be like, what would be a crazy prediction, I guess. But last thing before we go, the first and the last office hour, what's a crazy prediction? What would be insane for us to revisit at the last office hour this year? If anything jumps to the top of your head. Actually, folks in chat, maybe you post things too. We're gonna roll this back, at the end of December or whatever this year. What are your some predictions for this year? And what are some of the things you're excited about for this year too? Money stops existing. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing,
Bolt tokens will become the official currency.
The official reserve currency. Contact with aliens. I wouldn't rule that out, actually. AGI for all. I dig. XRP. Okay. it is like a token, I think, right? It's $10,000. Prompt to done. I like that one. I like that a lot. Okay, so there actually is a Bolt token, by the way. We get tagged on this on Twitter from time to time. People are like, Bolt token, buy Bolt token, and nothing to do with Bolt.new. Has nothing to do with Bolt.new. If someone's telling you there's a Bolt,
don't buy it. I mean,
Don't buy
if you sell your house to buy Bolt tokens, like you're on your own. We're not like endorsing this whatsoever. I mean, if you want to sell your house, I'm fine with it, but you should not.
Honey, I bought some Bolt tokens.
Eric told me.
I love it. Cool. Hell yeah. Well, thank you all for tuning in. This has been a blast, and we'll see you next week, same time as always. With that, have a great rest of your week, and let's have a kick butt 2025. All right. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.